chance. Every step was earned. Through long days that demanded more than she had. Through seasons where giving felt like losing. She kept building. Quietly, steadily, faithfully. She raised lives. Shaped spaces. Carried dreams. Dreams that were not always her own. And still found a way to keep hers alive. Her achievements are not always loud, but they are deep, woven into people, anchored in resilience, written in the life she touched and lifted. She has become a woman whose presence speaks before she does, a testament that strength can be gentle and power can be patient. Now she stands, not just as who she was, but as everything she refused to give up on. This is her victory, not perfection, but persistence. They said time would quiet her, but time taught her fire. At 50, at 60, at 70, she's no longer chasing approval. She's choosing herself, fully, boldly, without apology. She has no love, she has no lust, sacrifice, and silent battles, and still she stands unbroken, unfolding. Her wrinkles are not weakness. They are maps of survival, maps of excellence, proof she stayed. Now she speaks with a voice that does not tremble, walks with a strength that does not beg, and lives in a courage that does not hide. The years ahead are not a countdown. They are a calling. She's not aging out. No, she's rising up, on fire, on purpose, unstoppable. She is the nurturer of generations. Hello, good evening, a beautiful Saturday to every one of us, and we are here again on the Young Women and Wives with Burdens and Blessing discussion platform. My name is Rosemary, and I am your beautiful host. Yes, I am your beautiful host for tonight, and I want to say welcome to the platform where we talk all about the woman. The Young Women and Wives with Burdens and Blessing discussion platform is a platform where we come to look at what the woman entails, the life of the woman, and Y.W.W.B is also an initiative where we talk about empowerment. We talk about we actually also act on empowerment, and we talk about education. We talk about everything that makes the woman whole. And as our mantra, our motto is, when we say Y.W.W.B initiative, we say the wholeness of the woman. And I am here this night, joyful, excited, because of the topic we have this night. The woman, she is not old, she's not aging, she's aging with fire. Oh my goodness. And I'm so excited because of the speaker we have tonight, Sheila Gallant. I hope I'm right, and is an amazing person. She's experienced, and she's a senior citizen. This year she clocked 65. So we are not bringing on this platform someone without experience. We have someone who is experienced in the topic of tonight. I want you to please sit back, relax, and be ready to take home, one or two points that would help you. No, I know that we said that the topic of tonight is for women 50 and above. But for those of us who are gradually moving towards that age, I want to tell you, it is better that you are prepared for that time, for that age, and not be caught unaware. Sheila will join us soon. But before Sheila joins us, I want to actually bring to your knowledge that as an initiative, we are about the woman, the girl child from the age of 12 to the woman, to the grandma, the age of 65. And this initiative runs both in Nigeria, Africa, and also here in the beautiful province of Prince Edward Island, Canada. And we are 3 years going when it comes to our empowerment program. also known as Light Up. Light Up is our empowerment program where we actually run what we call handcrafts, and it holds every August. We it is 3 years running, and we are so excited. This year is will hold on the 15th of August, and back home in Nigeria on the 18th of April, we will not be live here, rather we'll be live, connecting back home as we go on a medical outreach as an initiative. And so we will be having our medical outreach as an initiative on the 18th of April back home, far away Nigeria. I am with you here from the beautiful province of Prince Edward Island in Canada. So while we wait for our speaker for tonight, I remember some time back, that was last year precisely, I had the privilege of speaking on the topic of aging. And I shared where, a story of, personal story that, the story that actually has to do with aging. I remember when I was getting close to the age of 40, I felt that I suddenly started feeling old. I started feeling I wouldn't say it was some sort of midlife crisis, but I started battling with a lot of things about aging. And one of the reasons is because I work back home in Nigeria. Had 15 years of experience working as a construction professional. I work as a certified professional quantity surveyor, and I have worked in the construction industry for 15 good years. Okay, yes, thank you so much, Sheila. I'm bringing you on. Oh, yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I don't know if you just need to like touch my heart to know how excited I am about tonight.
Hi
Hello.
there.
Hi, Sheila. Good evening. Welcome, welcome. And I just want to let you know that if you are not seeing me, don't worry. That is Facebook, but everyone else is seeing you and I as we speak. And this is a global platform. Everyone back home in where I come from in Nigeria, in Africa, and every to global. Last week we had Dr. Amoya, who speak to us on this platform, way far away from India. So tonight I have the privilege of having you, as our second speaker from the beautiful province of Prince Edward Island, and you'll be speaking to us on the topic that I was saying before you joined us. I said as I drew closer to the age of 40, that's almost 4 years ago, because I'll be 44 in December, I started entertaining this discomfort, this fear. And this was actually the first part where I experienced this was because I worked as a construction professional, and all my life, as a professional, 15 to 16 years, I was on construction sites. I relished in the energy and everything, but I just observed that it was, I started feeling uneasy. But well, enough about me. Thank you so much, Sheila, for joining us this night. I'm so excited. I am so excited for tonight. And without taking much of our time, I know that earlier in the week we had actually reeled out your biography, but let our audience listener get to meet you, Sheila. Who is Sheila? Let's meet you, please.
Well, first of all, I want to say a thank you for inviting me to be on your platform this evening, Rosemary. I met Rosemary about 2 years ago, and I found a very courageous and vivacious and dedicated woman um, who has a great vision of what she wants for her future, and she's going for it. So that's about Rosemary. Now about Sheila. I am retired. I retired from the provincial government about 8 years ago. Actually, it's 8 in May. And I worked there for 33 years. I had a wonderful career. during that time. And since I've retired, I've taken every opportunity that I could find to be involved in leadership roles. I've been heavily involved in Women's Institute and also the Rotary Club. I've done a ton of other volunteer work with the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, with different Rotary clubs. And I can honestly say that it's extremely rewarding. So I'm currently married. I have two children. One of those children is actually in Rosemary and my WY group, Lisa, and Lockie, he lives in Nova Scotia. So that's enough about me. Your topic tonight is certainly very interesting. And I was thinking about, well, how can I talk about aging with fire? And I will have to start off with everybody who knows me talks about my inferno. Um, that I'm just this big tornado that goes around and around in a circle, and anybody who comes close to me gets wrapped up in my circle and goes around and around with me. So that's a little bit about aging with fire. So, what I want to talk to you about is I do have a presentation ready here, and I'm going to share a little bit of my own personal experiences, as well as talk about aging generally, talk about what kinds of fears that we harbor inside of us as we face aging, and then talk about what kinds of things we can do to prepare ourselves as we age. So, the first thing I'd like to say is that aging, what is it? Well, technically, it's getting older in your body. But we, unlike cars and vehicles and possessions, we have a mind. And our mind has a huge effect on our age. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we go through the presentation.
Sheila, please just
Yeah,
1 second. I
yeah,
know you can't see me because, and you can't see yourself either because of Facebook
yeah.
technicalities. But you, we're kind of seeing you in a landscape uh, way because I'm seeing it from another device. So can you please kind of like probably, I don't know if you're seeing those from, can you, if you're using your phone, can you make it more like a portrait form so we don't see you in a landscape form?
What are you seeing it in?
We're seeing you like horizontal.
Oh, okay. I just turned my phone now. Does that
Okay.
help?
Yeah, oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Yeah, we can do that. So the other thing is that sometimes people look at aging generally with a negative connotation. Sometimes you might hear expressions like, well, they're old, they don't really have anything to contribute, they're in the way. But that's just how other people may think about it. Sometimes in the workplace, you will hear about the gray hair syndrome. Oh, well, if you're getting gray hair, you know, you're going to be out to the door soon. So we're not going to invest anything in you because we know you're going to be gone soon. But I think that whoever thinks that is really losing out because when someone is getting older and is reaching close to retirement years, that is the best time to invest in them because you can get from them a wealth of knowledge. The other thing I wanted to say about aging is that truly we don't really age on the inside. And sometimes I go to my mirror and I look in and I say, who's that old woman there? What is she doing in my house? Because inside I feel still very young. I still feel like a little girl. So that's what I mean when I say that aging has a lot to do with our mind. When we're younger, we're busy. We have families. We're involved in a number of things. We don't have time to think about aging and what aging is going to be like for us. Another thing I wanted to point out is that many years ago, women were homemakers and they were in the home. And their life was focused around their family. So often, when the family left their home, women had a sense of, well, what is my value now? But women today are outside of the home, they're career minded, they're stronger. And so that has an impact on how women are aging today. And the other thing I wanted to say about aging is that what we work on in our youth determines how we're going to age. And I'll leave you with that thought and I'll move forward and we can talk about that later. Some of the fears that we have about aging, I know when I was younger, I never thought about this one. But now that I'm older, it's definitely a fear. Illness. What about, am I going to get sick? And if I get sick, what kind of sickness am I going to have? What about my spouse if they get sick? What about family members if they get sick? How am I going to handle that? The other thing that we fear is a loss of our mobility. As we know, if we look around us here on Prince Edward Island, we have a very great aging population. And you see a lot of people that have mobility challenges. They're using walkers or canes and wheelchairs. So again, that's another fear we can have. What about if I lose my mental capacity? As we know, there's a huge increase in dementia, various types of dementia, of which Alzheimer's is one of the higher, most common one that you hear of. So again, that's another fear that we could have. What about if I lose my partner? And we are so attached to our partner as we age. We all know, every one of us know, that at some point in our life we will have to leave this earth. So again, it's a fear that we have that we're going to lose our partner and then I have no one with me. What about financial security? That's another thing that we all fear, especially as we age and reach the age of retirement. Many people just don't have enough funds put aside for retirement. So again, that's another fear. What about our children? Will they be secure? Can I let them go? Do I have to worry about them? Am I going to have to support them? Those are all still very valid fears. What about my own security? Will I always feel loved, cared for, and wanted? What about if my partner dies and I have no children, no family around? Will I have that feeling that I'm not secure? You know, tragedy can happen at any time, young or old. What do you do for fears? You think about what you're going to do if it should happen, so that your fears become rational fears and not irrational. For example, if I should become ill, what am I going to do? Well, you can ask, what kind of support services do I have in place? Do I have things planned for should I pass away? Do I have my estate planning in place? So you ask yourself all the questions. What would I do if I should become ill? So that will then make you prepared. So if you should become ill, you can say, you know what? Good. I have everything all looked after. I just need to focus on getting better if I can. And if not getting better, to work on making the last part of my life a good time of my life. What about if I lost my mobility, for example? What do I do? Well, okay, let's say I have to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life as I age. Okay, I need to make some changes in my home. What kinds of changes do I need to do? How do I go about making that happen? So that if I should lose my mobility, I have it all looked after and I can just focus on either getting my mobility back or accepting and moving forward with my mobility issues. So that's kind of what we want to do with our fears. What I wanted to talk about is we need to celebrate aging. Now, I'm not sure just how many people in my audience are getting up in years, but as you get older, you have a little bit of a different mindset than when you're younger. Often when you're younger, you're very hesitant. You don't have the self confidence. You don't have the experience to share. But when you get older, those are really big positive factors that you have. So you need to celebrate them. You know, not everybody gets to get old. 10 years ago, I was in an accident with my husband. We were on the back of a motorbike and a car pulled out in front of us. My husband only lived for 4 hours, and I had to be airlifted to Halifax, and I was kept in a coma for 3 days, and I had a lot of broken bones. It took me 3 years to get better. It had a huge impact on my children. Lisa was 20 and Lockie was 28. Lockie was out west, and he had to take 3 months off work and come home. And my daughter Lisa was in university, and she had to quit university for that semester because I was in Halifax and then I was in Charlottetown, totally immobile for 3 months until I could get back on my feet. So, what I'm trying to share with you is that not everybody gets to grow old. So, getting old is not a bad thing. You share your wisdom and your experiences. You've earned that wisdom. And so, why should you not share it with other people? Experiences strengthen us. The very experience that you have might be the one that's going to make you stronger. Now, the one that I just talked about, it was a horrible experience. It was incredibly horrible. But I had to find a way forward. I could think about, well, it's not really fair that I lost my husband. It's not really fair that my kids lost their dad. Um, and I could, for the rest of my life, feel sorry for myself. Or I could say, you know, it was wonderful. I got to share 31 years with a wonderful man. We did so many wonderful things together, and I have so many wonderful memories. Yes, it's terrible that he's been taken from me, but I have to accept it. I can't change that. And I have to learn now how I'm going to move forward without him. So that experience strengthened me. I learned that it doesn't really matter anymore about the little things in life that people haggle about and people fight about, because at the end of the day, they really don't matter anymore. It also makes us resilient. We have to learn how to cope with things that are really difficult to handle. And when we face experiences that make us turn inside and draw on our inner strength, those experiences are what is going to make us strong. And we need to share them and celebrate as we get older because of them. We also have a ton of corporate knowledge. If you are working in the workforce, the more you work, the more you learn, and the more you can share and the more you can teach. Share it. Don't be afraid. You have the know how. Every little thing in life. For example, I'm just going to use one little tiny example. When I was working, I never had time to make homemade bread. There was no time in my day to learn about yeast and how to work with yeast. But when I retired, I started experimenting. Now, how many times I have to do it to get it right? Oh, probably a year and a half of trying it over and over and over. But it's the trial and the error that gives you the know how, and that's what you can share with others and to celebrate with others. And the other thing that you have as you get older, no matter what's taken from you, you still have your voice. So use it and speak up. What about if you're really getting older? Let's say you're in your 80s and you have mobility issues, and you might feel, it's just too late for me to be of help to anybody else. I want to tell you, it's never too late. When I was in the UE Grandview Kinross WI, I had a lady in my institute who was 88. She was the oldest there. And when we had COVID and we had to start meeting online through Teams, I want you to think about this. Most 80-year-olds wouldn't even know how to work a computer. But this woman learned, and she went on, and she was the first one on every meeting through the Teams meeting. So it's never too late, and you're never too old. What do you have that you can share with others? You must have something, some little thing that you can help someone else. Oh, I can't walk. I can't do anything. But yet you could sit down and talk to someone else and maybe listen to them. That's helping someone else. So it doesn't matter how old you are or what your limitations are. You have something to share. You have something that you can do to help someone else and to make a difference. Maybe you can't walk, but you want to learn something new. Well, how do I go about doing that? Look, you have the computer in front of you. You have books. You can go online and you can download information to learn new skills. You're not limited anymore because one time you would have to go to the library. One time you would have to go get someone to buy you books. But now with just a computer and a television, you can get all of the information you want. So you still can learn to do something. One thing I can say, if you are getting older and you are feeling maybe it's too late for me, just be grateful. And when you're grateful, it takes you places and it opens your eyes to see things that you wouldn't see if you thought elsewise. So if you're telling yourself every day, it's just too late for me, I can't do anything. No, say, I am just so grateful to be alive. I'm just so grateful that I have so and so and so in my life. I am so grateful because I did this and I did this and I went there and I went here. But hey, just a minute. This is something that I learned here that maybe someone else might be able to benefit from. So you can teach someone else something about that. Gratefulness took you there because you're not thinking all the time, it's just too late for me. There are so many activities that are available now for seniors. I just think about the town of Cornwall, where Rosemary is a member of the Cornwall Women's Institute. They have so many activities for seniors. And our WI group right now is looking at developing a lecture series for the community where you can come and you can learn about different activities. You can socialize with other people, getting out and being with other people, social engagement, learning new things, um, participating. That is what's so important. Um, if you are feeling like it's too late for me, you feel that maybe I don't have anything to contribute, well, there's still tons of things that you can do. I had a little cartoon here that I wanted to tell you about, and it says, sometimes I just wish I had the wisdom of a 90-year-old, the body of a 20-year-old, and the energy of a 3-year-old. Now, I just wanted to talk about some things that we can think about as we age. And as I said before, when we're younger, we don't really think about growing old. It's not something that we sit down and think about. But how we live our life is going to depend on how we age. So the first thing that I want to recommend is keep a positive attitude. So important. Positive self-talk. I can do this. I will do this. So important. Embrace the day, the moment. Being mindful as you're going through the day. Sometimes it is so easy, and I can remember when I was raising my young children, it was so difficult. Your mind was constantly going about where you had to go next, what you had to do next. Oh, this is coming up. I had to prepare for that. That you didn't take the time at the moment to enjoy what your child was trying to tell you. So embrace the day, the moments, and be mindful. Enjoy the journey, not the destination. A lot of people, when they're working, they can't wait till they retire. Well, guess what happens when you retire? You start getting older. And when you get older, there comes complications in the picture. So don't wish your life away. Enjoy your journey. Enjoy your working life. Enjoy the things that you're doing because it's taking you to the destination of retirement where you want to get. Try something new and challenging. Always challenge the brain. If you've never tried puzzles, sit down and try to learn how to do puzzles. When I was away recently in Peru, I purchased a sampunya, and it's like a pan flute. Now, I've never played a wind instrument before. I know how to read music. I've played the piano, but I am going to learn how to play that. I'm going to challenge my brain to make myself learn how to play that. Embrace failure. Have you ever had anybody say that to you before? Embrace failure. Failure's tough, and it's hard sometimes to get back up off your feet and start over again, especially when what you really put all your energy in just failed. But it's a new learning experience. You can learn so much from failure. And the next time around, you could be totally successful. Appreciate and learn from the aged. When you look at an older person, think, they have so much wisdom to share. Ask them questions, find out what they did, where they worked, where they traveled. You can learn so much from older people. Let go of your old fears and old adages. All these things that we worry about, you know what? 80% of them will never ever happen to you. Yes, there may be some challenges, but we have support services, we have supports around us, and we will plan for those challenges that come up as they come, and then it will take away your fears. Another thing that's so important when you're younger and as you think about aging is to self nurture. Look after yourself. When you're younger and you're working, it's just you're on a treadmill. I understand that. But even if it's 5 minutes before you go to bed at night, where you sit down and you just deep breathe and you relax and you let go of all the tension that you have accumulated in your body during the day. Maybe it's getting in the bathtub once a week and turning all the lights down low and putting candles on and putting some bubble bath in. Look after you, make time for yourself. Another thing that will take you a long ways is a sense of humor. And I honestly have to tell you that when I was hurt, I wouldn't have made it through without my sense of humor. And I can still remember being on Unit 1 at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and I was there for 3 months. And the nurses all took turns coming in to tell me a joke because they knew I had one for them too. So a sense of humor really takes you a long ways. And these are the common things that you're going to hear from everybody. Stay active. Now, I don't mean going out to the gym to work constantly. We weren't put on the earth to be lifting weights constantly every day. But if you can walk, walk. Don't take the elevator, take the stairs if you can take the stairs. Um, Stay involved. Watch your diet, of course. When I was younger, I never thought anything about all the sweets that I ate. But if you are a sweet eater, you could eventually lead yourself to developing diabetes. So these are all the kinds of things that you have to think about when you're younger and you want to age right. Commit to being a lifelong learner. That is definitely my motto. I try to learn something every day, something new, something different. Embrace change. Change is so uncomfortable. It's not a place people like to be, to make things changing. But change is an opportunity to make things better. It's an opportunity to make things easier. It's an opportunity to be happier. A lot of things. And then, of course, you do have to plan for when you age, financially especially. And I want to leave you with this quote: look closely at the present you are constructing. It should look like the future you are dreaming. And that's my presentation. And I want to leave it open to some questions if anybody has any.
Oh my goodness, Sheila, thank you so, so much. I had to mute to listen with rapt attention. And I want to say a big thank you to you for an awesome, educative, therapeutic session. I was taking in every single thing. And if you look at the comment section also, we have a lot of people making comments. And one thing I also want to say that stands your presentation this night out is the fact that it transcends culture, it transcends location. It just speaks to the woman. It speaks to the woman, and that is one unique and amazing blessing that tonight's presentation of yours, carries. Thank you so much, Sheila. I would say I would have loved to say, oh, I don't have any questions, but then because everything you touched, you touched every aspect of the questions that I would want to ask. But let us leave it open and ask our audience to please ask their question. Please drop your questions, and Sheila is here to answer. And before we go into the questions Q&A session, I want to say a big congratulations to you, Sheila, for joining the Senior Citizens League.
Thank you so much for asking me.
Well, but I know you. I don't really see you as one who actually is a senior citizen, because you transcend generation. We, the younger ones, are able to relate with you. When I met you, I said to myself, I said, you have really impacted my life in the last 2 years that I've met you. I've learned a lot from you. And one of the things that I was saying to you that I learned from you is your consistency, your openness to learning. You learn, and then you give the younger ones opportunity. You're amazing. Thank you so, so much, Sheila. Thank you so, so
You're
much.
welcome.
I
It's been a
I
pleasure.
I love listening to you. Um, but I'm definitely going to ask questions. And one of some of the questions we have here, one of the questions says, I know you have given us a lot, you have said so much, but to just be in bullet points, what fears commonly confront women as they grow older? What are the fears that commonly confront women?
That confront women.
Yeah.
Um, well, I think one of the things that a woman wants to be is useful, and to be contributing. And one of the things that I think women think about is what happens when I get to the point where I'm no longer useful and when I can no longer contribute. But as I mentioned, they're irrational fears because you always have something to contribute and you always can be useful. It may not be in the way that you want it to be, but you have to reach inside and think about what way can I be useful. So, and then we already talked about the common ones about illness and your loss of mobility and your loss of your memory. And those are very rational fears because we see them happening every day. But specifically for women, I would have to say that usefulness and helpfulness. I think it's just in us as a woman to want to be helpful. And there's always that fear that we're not going to be helpful anymore. We might be just in someone's way.
Thank you so much, Sheila. Thank you so much. I remember when I came here definitely in my early 40s. when I came to Canada. That's almost 3 years ago. I had, all my career life has been in the construction industry, and I felt, having to start all over again wasn't
Yes.
something that I and having to start over again from in an industry that I was not really accustomed to, even though I had been, have had the privilege to teach in a school. But I over time I came to love what I'm doing. I came to kind of put that interest and desire in it. So thank you so much, Sheila. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Okay, so Olabisi has a question for you, Sheila.
Okay.
Olabisi Rachel says, how do you deal with disappointments at over 50 years old, such as divorce, the loss of loved ones? How do you deal with such disappointments at the age of over 50? You find yourself becoming, getting divorced or losing someone you love.
Absolutely. Like I said to you before, I lost my partner at the age of 53. So I can understand about losing a loved one at that age. And divorce, again, there is a loss of a person in your life, but then you're dealing with other issues like a sense of rejection, a sense of failure. Um, maybe there's shame. There's a whole slew of emotions and thoughts that go with divorce that is different from losing a partner through death.
Mm,
There is only one thing that I can say is that you cannot do it alone. And you need to reach out to people and professionals who can help you work through it.
mm,
Divorce and grief is a process and it takes time. It's not
mm,
something that you're going to overcome and work through overnight.
mm,
Grief is very different from divorce because it doesn't matter. You will never see that person again. In divorce, you may run across them once in a while. So I would suggest that you explore who can help you. In the event where I lost my husband, I was encouraged to sit down and ask myself, what was it that I received from my husband? I received strength. I received emotional support. I received financial support. He was the same faith as me, so he supported my faith. So I listed all of the things that my husband was able to give to me and what he
mm,
meant to me and what it brought into my life.
mm,
Then I thought about who can I turn to that's
mm,
going to help me to find a little bit of that support that my husband gave me. And I listed all of the people that were in my life. And then I turned to them and asked them if they could help me with this part of my life that I no longer had.
mm,
Okay. Then I also went for some counseling and a professional counselor who understands the process of grief. Grief has many processes and it's
mm,
different for every person.
mm.
It's a process that doesn't follow a process, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
in that you may be angry, but you might not be angry at first, and anger may come later in your grief process. So it's something that you really need someone who understands grief to help you work through it. And again, with divorce, I would also recommend that you seek professionals to give you some guidance and help in working through the divorce.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is a very rich and informative response. Sorry. I have some people saying thank you so much for sharing.
Okay.
You're being appreciated here. And I have Olabisu Rachel saying thank you. I have Karen Anderson saying very interesting. I enjoy it so much.
Oh, very good.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Olabisi. Okay, I go to another question. Thank you so much, Sheila, for your time. Um, how do you shift from seeing aging as a decline to seeing it as a season of power and wisdom?
Oh, that's a really big question. I think I honestly have to say that aging is a mindset. Um, I don't know if you're familiar with self talk, but self talk
Mm,
is extremely important as you go through life. Um, in the morning, when you get out of bed when you're young, it's not a problem. You hop out, you land on your feet, and off you go running. When you get a little older, oh, you have a few things like arthritis starts to bother you. You might have something wrong with one of your toes. And so getting out of bed is not such an easy thing for you.
mhm,
So you could say, ah, I'm getting so old. Ah, yeah, this is no good.
mm,
But if you could
mm,
just learn, it definitely is a mindset. If you could just say to yourself, I'm not getting old.
mm,
This is just a little thing that I have to deal with. How can I manage
mm,
my arthritis a little better so when I get out of bed in the morning, it doesn't hurt so much?
mm,
So you have to learn to compartmentalize the issues that you have rather than putting them under the big aura of
mm,
aging, rather than, okay, this is a little problem. How do I deal with that? And then move forward. I think that you should just not even think about it as aging. I had a dad who passed away at 91, and he used to tell everybody age is a state of mind.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
But you know you're getting old when your back goes up more than you do.
Mm,
Yeah. So that's really about the only thing that I can say. It has to definitely
mm,
do a lot
mm,
has to do with your mindset.
mm. Thank you so much, Sheila. As a person, I do something. I tell myself, I have a way of, when you spoke on self-talk. There's
Yes.
something I do for myself. I always tell myself, kind of like, I wouldn't call it a words of affirmation. I would just say, I like to praise myself. I like to look at myself in the mirror and say, "Oh, Rosemary, how beautiful you look! Look at how gracious you're looking. Look at you're aging like fine wine. You're doing this." I'm so used to doing that I've done it like way back, way over 20 years. That I'm so used to it. Most people know me who know me know that I do that, and really, it helped in it has helped me emotionally. It has helped me as a person. It has helped me in the way I look at life. So thank you so much for mentioning, for referencing that. And I believe that everyone watching this night would go back and will try it because it's really very effective and very efficient.
I
Okay, we
just
have
had a
another question.
question. I just saw a question pop up there, Rosemary, and I think it
Yeah.
was a really
Okay.
good question. And it says some people don't want to admit that they're aging.
Mm,
And how do you deal with them? And I think that's a really good question because
mm,
we have older parents, and I have a mom who is 93, and my husband has a mom who is 97. And so often what will happen is these parents begin to decline,
mm,
and they're faced with issues where they can't really stay alone, but
mm,
they don't want to leave their home, and that can be
mm,
extremely challenging.
mm,
The answer to that is, although it hurts and although it is hard, you have to be truthful and honest with them. These are the issues that you're dealing with. And because you're dealing with this, it's not recommended that you stay at home. And you can't come live with me, or I can't help
mm,
you. And these are the reasons why.
mm,
So, what are we going to do about that? And then you put the decision back on them because they will want sometimes to put the decision on you, and you end up making a decision that is not good for you or your own family.
mm,
So, I think being really honest with them getting help to help them understand where they are
Yeah.
and what the options are, and then put the decision back on them so that they have to make the decision moving forward because it is their life and you have to give them the control of it.
Thank you so much. I have so many questions, but I don't think we're going to be able to take a lot of
Sure.
them.
Yes.
But I would just like to take like three questions from what we have. Um, so one of the questions: how can women step into new dreams when time feels limited? How can women step into new dreams when time feels limited?
How come we step into new dreams?
How cans?
Oh, how can.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting into time management. And, I think everyone has to realize that it's okay to dream.
Mm,
But we have to choose our dreams. And if we have 9 dreams, it's not really realistic that we're going to be able to make all of those dreams come true.
mm, cool.
And the other thing that we have to remember, and I'm perhaps one of the biggest dreamers that there ever was,
Mm,
is that sometimes it takes a
mm,
long time to realize your dream.
mm,
And, like even if it's, let's say I want to travel somewhere,
mhm,
I really want to go to that place. Well, when you're younger, you don't have the money.
mm,
Now, when I'm a little bit older, maybe I have the money, but I'm a little afraid to go by myself. So sometimes it takes a long time for the dream to get realized. And it's a process. And people get frustrated and they give up on their dreams. But I say never give up on a dream. So, with regards to dreams, it's like any other thing. You have to set the priorities and you have to work on them. So, for example, I want to go to 12 different countries and I'm 87. Well, the chances are you're probably not going to see the whole 12 countries. And you never know.
mm.
But where is it that I really want to go? Let me set priorities for 3 and let me plan for 3. And then let's see what I can do after that. So again, it's time management, setting your priorities, and choosing.
Thank you so much, Sheila. Oh my goodness. Sheila, do you ever like try to go into tutoring, like being a professor or something?
I know.
Because,
It's just my
it-
wealth of experience speaking.
yeah, thank you so much. And the second to the last or penultimate question says, how can older women model fearless living for younger generations?
For younger generations, absolutely. Um, well, I think the first thing we have to be is to learn to be a role model. So, if we're going to want our younger generations to be strong women and fearless women, we have to be strong and fearless ourselves. If we want, it's the same thing as if we want our younger generations to enjoy the earth the way we enjoy it, well,
Mhm,
then we have to do our part in protecting it so that our younger people can enjoy it. It's the same thing.
mhm,
You have to walk the talk. So, in other words, if you're saying that I want you to be like this, well, then you should model that for them. Um, if you believe that, I'm not known, what can I say? If you believe that something shouldn't happen and you sit back and let it happen, then, and you're telling the younger generations that they shouldn't let it happen, then that's not being a role model. So whatever it is that you're wishing that the younger generations can be, you have to learn to demonstrate that to others so that they can learn from you.
Oh, this has been so, so very healthy, so very helpful and amazing. So my last, it's not like a question, my last
Yes.
request is a request. One
Yes.
word, just one word or one sentence for that woman out there who is in her 50s, in her 60s, in her 70s, who how would I put it now? Who feels it's too late for her? Just one word for her.
You can blossom right where you are.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going
Yes,
to be the
ma'am.
little 90-year-old that goes around with the high heels on and the designer clothes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Oh my goodness, Sheila, thank you so much.
You're more than
You,
welcome. It's my
you
pleasure.
know, most times when we come for our meetings and I see you in high heels, like 3 inches, 4 inches, I'm like, oh my goodness. And your sense of dressing, your fashion sense, it's so appealing. And I know I always say, Sheila, I want to be like you when I'm 65, also when I'm your age, because you carry such a healthy aura, you carry such an inspiring presence. And
Yes.
thank you so much. I do not take this for granted, Sheila. And while we during the week while we're actually doing like the publicity for this program, I had someone reach out to me, a friend, my childhood friend, who is doing amazing things in Quebec, and she was like, "Oh, Rosemary, I would like to be, or I would like to please just create something for me to be on the same platform with this woman. Her wealth of experience is so inspiring, and I would like to drink." I told her, I said, "I'm going to let Sheila know. Don't worry, I'm going to let her know, and we'll definitely set something up." Thank you so much.
Thank you for your kind words.
We are so blessed to have you tonight, and thank you for every single thing you shared with us this night. Let me tell you something. It's you can't imagine the number of women you have helped with what you shared this night. And like I said, while we're having the discussion, I said it is transcultural. What you share this night is not limited, it's not restricted by culture, it's not restricted by environment, it's not
No.
restricted by location or ethnicity. It is for the woman, no matter where
Exactly.
you are from, what ethnic group you belong to. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What race you belong to. Thank you, Sheila. I'm so grateful.
Do you know,
And,
Rosemary? The way
and
I look about ethnicity is
yeah.
this: we are
Mm,
all the same when you turn
yeah.
out the light.
Mm.
All the
Oh
same.
my goodness.
Yeah. So a woman is a woman no matter where she is. And we all struggle with the same things regardless of her culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And there's
You're
so much
welcome.
love pouring in for you. Alabisi said, I love you so much. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I know a lot of people are really like watching and see, you have really helped. So even
Wonderful.
even though I'm in my 40s, you have prepared me ahead for my 50s and my
Here you
60s.
go.
Yes,
Good.
thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
Olamikmo Amusa says, thank you so much, Ma. And there is love pouring in for you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who stood in here, everyone who asked questions, everyone who came to listen. We want to say a big thank you for staying in, week out. And as we come your way next week, oh, that is it. Next week, Saturday, the 18th of April, we will be live here, but not discussing any topic. We'll be actually showing live our medical outreach ongoing in Lagos, Nigeria. The initiative, our maiden edition of the medical outreach, we'll be having it live in Nigeria, in Lagos. And until we come your way next time, say, stay blessed. Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Sheila. See
Bye
you.
bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.